Welcome to Sleepy Classic Tales. Today, we listen to a calm summary of a work in which money, hope, and self-deception are inseparably intertwined. The Gambler, written by Fyodor Dostoevsky and published in 1866. I live as a tutor in the household of a Russian general. We are staying in a German spa town, a place defined by boredom, expectation, and money. Everything here seems temporary, even the relationships between people. Everyone is waiting for something, for a message, for an inheritance, for a win. The general himself is nervous. He lives beyond his means, deeply in debt, yet full of hope. His future depends on an elderly relative, a wealthy aunt whose imminent death is quietly calculated into every plan. People rarely speak of it openly, but everyone knows her passing would change everything. I observe all of this from close range. I am not part of the family, yet not an outsider either. I hear conversations, see glances, sense tensions. Especially between the general and his stepdaughter, Polina, there is something unspoken in the air. She is proud, distant, and yet I feel that she notices me, perhaps more than is good for me. One day she sends me to the casino, not out of curiosity, but with a clear order. I am to play roulette, not cautiously, not strategically, but riskily. I obey, though I do not know why she asks this of me. Perhaps she wants to test me, perhaps herself. At the casino, I quickly learn the rules: red or black, even or odd, win or lose. The simplicity of the game is almost calming, and yet I feel something in me shift the moment I place a bet. Every stake feels like a decision about more than just money. I win. Not much, but enough to attract attention. When I bring the money to Polina, she reacts coolly. She is not grateful. On the contrary, she seems disappointed, as if she had expected something else. Perhaps my courage. Perhaps my downfall. I realize that no one here acts purely out of reason. Everyone is gambling. Not only at the roulette table, but in life. Each person is betting on something they cannot control, on luck, on chance, on the failure of others. And I begin to suspect that this game is more dangerous than it appears. For once someone places a bet, he no longer waits for reason, but for the next stake. And here begins a story in which money does not decide, but what one is willing to lose for it. I begin to observe the people around me more closely. In this spa town, everyone is dependent on money, even if few admit it openly. They speak of honor, of propriety, of future plans, but everything revolves around numbers, debts, what one might win or lose. The general grows increasingly impatient. Each day he waits for news from Russia. The aunt is still alive. Too long. Every additional day without the inheritance is torture for him. His mood swings between hope and despair, depending on the rumors that reach him. I see how deeply this expectation consumes him. Polina remains enigmatic. She treats me alternately with coldness and command. At times, she seems to despise me. At others, she seeks my proximity. Her glances are sharp, her words brief. I feel she uses me. And yet, I am unable to free myself. Every assignment she gives me feels like a test I want to pass. She sends me to the casino again, this time with more money. And again, I play. I feel the game becoming more familiar. The sounds, the movements, the spinning of the wheel, all of it suddenly seems logical, almost calculable. I convince myself I see a system. A mistake, as I will later understand. I win again, not by chance, I believe, but because I am bold enough to bet where others hesitate. This feeling is dangerous. It gives me the illusion of control, as though I stand above chance and can steer it. Yet Polina reacts once more differently than I expect. She takes the money without gratitude or joy. Instead, she asks me questions, whether I felt ashamed, whether I was afraid, whether I would be willing to lose everything if she demanded it. These questions strike me harder than any loss at the table. I realize it is not about money, not for her, and perhaps no longer for me. The game is merely a means, a mirror. It shows how far someone is willing to go, and how easily one deceives oneself when hope is involved. As I walk through the town, I see that everyone here has placed their own bet. The general bets on death. Polina bets on power. And I begin to bet on myself. I still believe I can stop at any time, but whoever thinks that has usually already lost. I notice that the casino follows me even when I am not there. Thoughts of stakes, numbers, the brief moment between hope and certainty accompany me. It is as if the game has found a place within me that I did not know existed. The general is under growing pressure. His debts increase, his composure falters visibly. Creditors appear, conversations cease when I enter the room. Everything feels tense, as though one wrong word could cause collapse. Then news arrives. The aunt is not dead. On the contrary, she is coming to the spa town herself. This message strikes the general like a blow. All hopes, all calculations dissolve at once. The secure win he relied upon vanishes completely. Polina reacts differently than I expect. She seems not surprised, but cool, as if she had long anticipated this outcome. Yet I see how something inside her hardens. And again she turns to me. Again she sends me to the casino. This time I go without hesitation. I play more aggressively, higher, more decisively. Every win feels like confirmation, every loss like a personal challenge. I no longer see the money as money, but as proof. Proof for myself and for Polina. I lose. Not everything, but enough to grow uneasy. For the first time I feel the other side of the game. Impatience, the urge to recover loss immediately. I increase my stake, not out of reason, but out of defiance. In the end, I stand empty-handed. When I tell Polina, I see something in her gaze I cannot interpret. Disappointment? Pity? Perhaps contempt. She says little, but her silence weighs more heavily than any judgment. I realize the game has begun to change me, not through wins, but through losses, through the desire to undo what has already happened. And that desire is stronger than caution. I begin to understand. The casino is not a place one enters. It is a state one falls into, and the longer one remains in it, the harder it becomes to leave. With the aunt's arrival, everything changes. She does not appear as a frail old woman, but as a determined, loud figure full of energy and curiosity. Instead of withdrawing, she throws herself into the life of the spa town, especially into the casino. The general is stunned. His certain inheritance not only lives, it gambles. I watch as the aunt bets with a mixture of carelessness and defiance. She laughs, wins, loses, bets again. For her, the game seems amusement, not destiny. That is precisely what makes it so dangerous for the others. With every stake, she destroys the hopes built upon her death. The general begins to falter. His debts weigh heavily. His plans crumble. He tries to maintain dignity, but with growing difficulty. Polina observes everything with cool detachment. I sense she has inwardly already taken leave, though of what exactly I do not know. And again she turns to me. She urges me to play myself, not cautiously, not hesitantly. She wants to see what I am capable of. I understand it is not about money. It is about power, about dependence, about how far I will go if she demands it. I go to the casino, this time without fear. I bet high, without much deliberation. Wins and losses follow in rapid succession. Yet something has changed. I feel almost no fear. Instead, a strange calm spreads within me, as if I have surrendered to chance. I win a great deal of money, more than I have ever possessed. People begin to notice me. Eyes follow me. Whispers circulate. I bring the money to Polina, and for the first time I see her shaken, not with joy, but with alarm. She refuses the money. She says she wants none of it, that I should keep it. This rejection wounds me more deeply than any loss. I played to prove something to her, and now it counts for nothing. In that moment, I understand that I have lost my way, not in the casino, but in my motives. I did not play to win. I played to be seen, and in that lies the greatest danger. After that evening, nothing is the same. The money I won lies before me like a silent challenge. It does not calm me, it unsettles me. I catch myself counting it, rearranging it, imagining what I could do with it, and what I might risk to make more from it. Polina withdraws. She barely speaks to me, avoids my presence. What I once believed to be closeness now reveals itself as distance, and this distance affects me more strongly than any command. I want to win her back, not with words, but with action, with success. I return to the casino, not because I must, but because I want to. The atmosphere feels familiar, almost soothing. The sounds, the glances, the spinning wheel, it all feels like a rhythm to which I can adapt. I tell myself I have learned from my mistakes. I place my bets, at first cautiously, then more boldly. Wins come, losses too, but losses now affect me differently. They cling to me. Each lost sum feels like an injustice that must be corrected. So I bet again, higher, faster. I begin to lose track of time. Hours pass unnoticed. The room seems to narrow. Everything outside the table fades. There is only the stake and the outcome. Hope and disappointment alternate until they become indistinguishable. In the end, I lose almost everything. I leave the casino with heavy steps. The night air feels cold. For the first time, I sense something I had suppressed. Fear. Not of losing money, but of the emptiness that remains when I do not play. I understand that the game has begun to dominate my thinking. I no longer plan or calculate. I react. And each reaction draws me deeper in. The casino is no longer a place I visit. It has become part of my daily life. Later, sitting alone, I realize I no longer play to win. I play so I do not have to stop. And whoever has reached that point is no longer standing at the edge of the abyss, but already within it. I sleep poorly. Thoughts of stakes, missed opportunities, possible wins press in as soon as I close my eyes. In the morning, I am exhausted, Yet the desire to play is stronger than any fatigue. It feels as though I must retrieve something taken from me, even though I know I put it at risk myself. The general is scarcely recognizable now. His dignity has given way to restless anxiety. He seeks money, negotiates, evades. The aunt, meanwhile, seems to enjoy the game. She bets without plan, loses large sums, and laughs. For her, the casino is pastime. For the others, fate. I return once more to the roulette table, this time without illusions. I know there is no safe strategy. And yet, I bet. Again and again. I win, lose, balance, lose again. Every small success feels like promise, every loss like a personal attack. I begin to justify my stakes as if I must explain to myself why I do not stop. Paulina looks at me differently now. No longer demanding, no longer testing, but distant, as though she has recognized that I no longer control myself. This realization hurts more than any defeat. I want to prove I remain master of my decisions. So, I continue to play. In the end, I lose everything. Not only the money, but the certainty that I will ever stop again. I leave the casino as if numbed. The town seems foreign, as though it has turned away from me. Only one thought remains: to return, to try once more, to do it better. I realize the game does not leave me when I leave it. It follows me, in my thoughts, my hopes, my fears. And for the first time, I understand that the true loss does not occur at the table. It occurs in the moment when one believes that without the game, one is no longer complete. I no longer remain in the spa town. Too much there is bound to what I have lost. Not only money, but something deeper. The illusion that I had control over my actions. I travel from place to place, always accompanied by the hope of trying again somewhere else. For the game does not release me. Wherever there is a casino, it draws me in. I tell myself this time I will be cautious, thoughtful, smarter. But the moment I stand at the table, these resolutions fade. The spinning of the wheel, the clicking, the brief pause, all of it is stronger than any memory of past losses. I win again. For a short time, everything seems to reverse. Money flows, people seek my company. I feel again that dangerous sense of superiority, as though fate has granted me a second chance. Yet I do not hold on to it. I continue playing, for stopping now feels like an error. And again, I lose. Faster, harsher, more completely than before. What I just won disappears. I try to retrieve it, but each attempt worsens the situation. In the end, I remain alone, without means, without direction, without excuse. I do not see Paulina again. Whatever existed between us is over. Perhaps it never truly existed. Perhaps it was only part of the game, another wager I placed without knowing the rules. I think of her often, but these thoughts lead nowhere. I now understand what truly destroyed me. Not roulette, not chance, but the belief that I could stop at any time. The game promised freedom and took exactly that from me. It turned decisions into reflexes, hope into compulsion. There was no dramatic collapse, no grand moment, only the simple realization that everything is over. I go on living, but differently. Not liberated, not redeemed, but aware. aware of how easily one deceives oneself, aware of how quickly a game becomes destiny. And as I move on, one insight remains. One does not lose everything when the money is gone. One loses it in the moment one believes that next time it will be different. And with that, our story for today comes to an end. A story about hope, dependence, and how a game can become a way of life. Perhaps you are now wondering, how does our short version differ from the original novel? Why does the narrator believe for so long that he is in control? And why does this story, though written in the 19th century, feel so close to our present? And how autobiographical is it? We explore these and other questions in our accompanying book, Golden Pages, Volume 2. There, we place the gambler in its historical context, examine Fyodor Dostoevsky's own experiences with gambling, and show why this narrative still resonates today. You will find the link in the description. And if you like, we will listen together again tomorrow on Sleepy Classic Tales. Good night.